Co-op Mode. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. This is our special edition Xbox Game Showcase. I'm your host, Todd Oxtra, joined by my favorite Northerner, living in parts unknown, far to the east on the coast of Atlantis. That's the Canadian, Mark Carabin. How you doing, bud?
I am good. It's we were talking before. It has been a long day. I worked and did I've been teaching an online course, so tonight was my last night, and then with an 8-week-old baby, and then going right into this. It's been a long day, but I am excited to talk about Xbox with my good buddy Todd. So how are you doing?
Doing good, man. We are in the midst of, I don't know what to call it, like, it really feels like E3, but I'm excited. Mm-hmm. This made me very excited. And actually, this corresponds with San Diego Comic-Con at home right now, too. So there's panels all starting today through the end of the weekend. So we've already had some really exciting news and things like that. Mark, I have some bad news, though, for you.
Oh, what's that?
The Star Wars movies have been delayed a year because of COVID now.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I didn't read any info. I saw the headline of that, and Avatar 2 or whatever is pushed back. I also saw they released like the first 8 minutes of New Mutants, so that movie isn't quite dead yet.
No,
still a thing. Who knows when or where they will release that. I saw someone joked that they were gonna. What's the is it Quibi?
Yes.
Quibi said they were going to release it on Quibi 1 minute at a time for the next 80 years. So we've got the first 8. Tune in for 80 more years, more minutes coming right at you on everyone's favorite video app.
They need an exclusive, Mark, and that's how you get one.
That's the
Keep
one.
Coming back. Is it 1 minute a week? Is that what we're going at?
I think it was 1 minute a month or something like that to extend to that many. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Makes it hard to unsubscribe to that. Yeah. Or wait till it's all done.
They're locking you in. They have a special 80-year subscription. If you pay up front, you get 12% off.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
Pretty great deal.
Sign me up. Love it.
Pretty great deal.
Yeah, but this is exciting because I feel like we're finally have the essence of what E3 probably should have been in another alternate universe. 2 big conferences, 2 big consoles coming, and essentially we've had all the big publishers have a conference at this point. And we did find out that Ubisoft Forward will be coming back in September for their next round.
Yeah, and I would expect Microsoft is going to do the same kind of thing. I mean, they did say they're going to have something every month leading up to launch, and you can assume after today that they're going to have something in August, and I'm guessing something big in September. So where E3 was condensed in a week, this is very uncondensed. Some would say maybe too uncondensed. It's tough to keep up with things because for E3 you could at least plan and take some vacation or do something where you could kind of try to keep up with some stuff, even though who could ever? But for this, it's kind of like, well, there's 5 minutes on this Monday and it's in the middle of the day when you're working, and then there's something happening, but that's at 10 o'clock p.m. A week from now, and then there's a small thing that maybe you want to tune into, and then there's a big thing over here, and it's crazy and hard to keep up with. But I agree. With Sony coming at it, Xbox coming at it, some of the big AAA publishers, even Nintendo threw in a weird little mini direct, which they were very clear to say, this isn't anything big. It's a little partner showcase. And people were like, oh yeah, F-Zero confirmed or whatever, like Metroid, and Nintendo was like very clear, like, no, don't expect that. And people are like, oh yeah, we're expecting it. And so everyone's pissed off. But anyway, today's not about that. Today's about Xbox. Let's get into it.
Yes. So this was the Xbox Game Showcase. We had something from them back in May. Some felt underwhelmed by it because it was primarily third-party games. But it was focused on, really what we could expect to potentially see games this fall, which is great and all. But it left people wanting more, which was first-party games. And that's what today was all about, first-party and what I would say potentially launch exclusives, as we'll say it, and then maybe with some Game Pass new announcements as well, because some of these games weren't exclusive as well, like Destiny, but we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this was really just a very, overall, just impressions of the show. I watched the pre-show with Jeff Keighley. He had a bunch of people on. They interspersed some trailers. Very well done. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great way to start things off. And I thought, overall, Mark, this felt like an E3 conference, polished.
Yeah, for sure. I missed the pre-show. I caught most of the main show. So we're doing this. I'm not sure when this is going to go up, but we are doing this Thursday night. As soon as I could work it into my schedule, and as soon as you could, right after we've watched this. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to even catch up on the pre-show stuff. I did miss in the main show when they were saying anything about Forza. So I'm a little behind on that, and I do want to go rewatch this whole conference. But overall, yeah, I thought this was really polished. One thing that I will say is it depended, I think, your satisfaction with this conference is completely dependent on how you viewed the conference. So for me, I viewed this as an Xbox services conference. It was games, it was Game Pass. If you looked at this as simply a Game Pass subscriber, this was a fantastic conference. A+ all around. If you viewed this as what is my one single reason or several reasons only to buy an Xbox Series X, you were probably going to be a little disappointed, because this was not Series X exclusive. This was not a Series X power showcase. This was, here's why you should be in the Xbox ecosystem. And they are making it very, very clear that they don't give a flying rat's ass whether you're on PC, Xbox One, Xbox One X, or Xbox Series X. They don't care. And soon they're not even going to care about any of that, because they're going to be also pitching xCloud. And they alluded to some of that stuff today with the Destiny thing. This is Xbox really showing their cards and really showing that the next generation doesn't matter. It's all about services. It's all about Game Pass. It's all about it's upgradability. It's they're going the way of PC. They're going the way of phones. We've been talking about this for a while. If PlayStation's drawing a line in the sand and saying, everything's about PS5 going forward, it's this is our only thing. This is our only move. Xbox is almost pulling a Nintendo with this. They're playing a very different ball game. Yes, they have another powerful console. Yes, it's the most powerful console, but they don't really seem to care. It's crazy. So if you were expecting them to sell you on that, today's not your day.
No, because they didn't do what we've been asking them to do, Mark. And maybe we'll take a step back and get into that in a second. But I watched this. This was basically streaming 1080p, and later they now have a 4K 60 on YouTube stream or a video on demand you can watch. So if you get a chance and can watch it in 4K, I went back and just watched the Halo Infinite gameplay on 4K, and it looked really good. So mileage may vary. 4K makes a difference for a 4K game rather than watching a 1080p. Oh, well. We started off with the pre-show. Jeff Keighley hosted this. It was an hour long before. And like I said, it was all about impressions. It was all about what people thought they would see, what they wanted to see. But the big, draw was the fact that there would be reveals before the show. And essentially, we got 6 reveals. The first reveal was so awesome, Mark. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch this yet, but it's called Echo Generation.
I saw a short bit of the trailer.
And I would call this a very cool Western JRPG utilizing I don't know what the style is. It's almost like the Minecraft Dungeons pixel art style.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it, but it was Stranger Things with a turn-based JRPG elements with some action elements as well. And I just love the style. I love the art aesthetic, and I just loved it. So I can't wait for this. I'm assuming this is coming to Xbox One and all the other places you can get this. So, but it looks very cool. Then they moved on and showed a trailer for something. I wasn't sure what this was, but it was very creepy. Like you were living in a house and you started putting surveillance equipment up and set up things like a coffee pot on the stove. Then you hid. And all of a sudden, as you hid, you started seeing this creepy thing walking around the house. And as the creepy thing went to the coffee pot you just put on the stove, the character went and hid somewhere else and just started watching the character on the basically the camera he set up. And then you started seeing this character, this really weird, creepy character, ended up turning on you, ended up just absconding with you and like stealing you, like an abduction, Mark. It was so creepy. I'm like, what is this game? It is so weird and freaky. It was Hello Neighbor 2. Now, Hello Neighbor 1 was all about you trying to sneak into a house, I believe. And it was like kind of automated and things like that. This is all about the other opposite way. Like you were in the house and you were trying to stop from being abducted, like you were in the other. But it was just weird. It was like these creatures that were out. But I'm like, that's such an interesting switch for a game that I kind of thought I knew. So that was also announced. Then we got a game that, Mark, you'll be so happy. You miss snowboarding. 1080. Shredders is a snowboarding game.
That's awesome.
This looked really cool. We don't have many extreme sports, but there you go.
Nope.
Shredders, Mark.
Okay, I got to go look up the trailer for that one for sure.
Yes, and then next we got this really cool game, and they did show part of this actually in the main showcase, but the way they introduced this game, it was very cool. Balan Wonderworld, which Balan is actually a new studio or I guess initiative at Square Enix, which is very cool, by the creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka.
Cool.
And this is a new game. So if you remember, Yuji Naka made Sonic, but he also made a bunch of different games. And this game looks wonderful. It's a 3D action platformer, similar to like a Super Mario Galaxy or something like that. It's wonderful. And then you've got a class of characters you can select, and it just looks wonderful. So if you get a chance to check it out, but it's beautiful. I mean, the style kind of reminded me of like a Billy Hatcher as well, if you remember that old GameCube game.
Yeah. I saw some of the artwork for this one. Reminded me, Billy Hatcher, Dreams, not the PlayStation Dreams.
No, yes, exactly.
Dreams, Journey into Night, or whatever, that kind of art style. It looked really cool just from the artwork. So I look forward to seeing this in action for sure.
Yeah, it's great to see these creators come back. And then we got this game that I thought it was Crysis. It's called Exomecha, and it's a free-to-play. It's got mechs, like giant mechs battling with swords, but then you're this guy on the ground, like shooting, like a Crysis suit type guy, and it's all this world's happening around you. Looked very cool, but I mean, I had never heard about this, but it's a free-to-play game.
Cool.
So very different.
Like Titanfall vibes, or
not really, because you're not going in the suits. Well, maybe you can, but they never showed that. But there was also then a mech dragon around that was huge. So all this stuff is happening, very odd, but once again, another thing that just like surprised me. I'm like,
especially if it's free to play. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very cool. It reminds me of like when Warframe dropped on PS4 at launch. It was something free to play to fill the gaps. So this kind of could be playing that role. And then lastly, we got announced Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition is coming to Game Pass. It's also coming to PS4 and different services like that. But the fact is, this is the edition that went on Switch, which was supposed to be the version of this game. So it's kind of cool to see everybody else is getting that version as now too. And the fact is, it's going to be free to play on Game Pass if you own that. Why not? I know Sean Capri actually put out a point like, I've never played a Dragon Quest game. Now I have no excuses. So there you go. And they actually had the creator of Dragon Quest come in and announce this. And that guy
that's really cool.
That guy is old, but it was very funny, very charming, very cute. And he kind of even gave an explanation of what Dragon Quest was. Because quite honestly, if you've owned an Xbox console, I don't think you've ever played it. There's not been a Dragon Quest game on it. Maybe Builders? Or is that on PS4 only? and Switch?
I think that's PS4 and Switch. So I mean, yeah, good on them for explaining that to Xbox people. I think that's a good call because Japanese exclusive games have not always gone hand in hand with Xbox. So yeah, that's a good call and a really good get for Xbox. That's really neat going in this next generation. If they're going to be able to get along a little bit better with Japanese developers and things that were exclusive formerly to PlayStation and Switch, that's starting off this generation on a really good note for sure.
And it could have been an exclusive window for Switch with that version, maybe. So that's maybe why it's finally coming out. So, but perfect. Yeah. It's good for everybody. So this wrapped up the pre-show. They also did a post-show with Aaron Greenberg, I believe, at the end with an interview after the actual event. So I did not get to watch that. So maybe I'll go back and see what happened there. But yeah, so that was a pre-show. I enjoyed it. It really set up things. And unfortunately, that's where I had to stop watching and actually go back into work.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's I was working straight through the pre-show. I was really hoping, one thing I'm not seeing on this list, and maybe it was in this mini bit that we both missed, Tunic from a developer. Yes. I'm wondering if that showed itself at all. I've been waiting for more on that game, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm curious to just see more. The developer is actually really close. He's in Nova Scotia and in Halifax, where I'm actually heading this weekend. So that game not only looks great, but it's also done by someone pretty local to me. So hotly anticipated for sure, and I think Xbox exclusive.
Yes, and Mark, I do want to I apologize because, yes, they had a very short little snippet of ID at Xbox games during the night.
Okay,
but cool. I didn't catch all the names, but Tunic was shown. Yes.
Beauty. Okay, cool. So, yeah, again, we're doing this Thursday evening. This is all new. We haven't had a time to go rewatch it. This is our initial impressions of all of this stuff. So yes, we could have probably waited and rewatched this 100 times, but we wanted to keep that level of excitement. So if we missed some stuff, if we missed your favorite game, tell us, tweet at us, talk to us in the Facebook group. Don't take offense to us missing or skipping over something. Just means we were working and we haven't had a chance to go back. But we are very excited and we want to keep that excitement level going. Speaking of excitement levels, let's get into the main stuff. I am still buzzing over this one. Halo Infinite. We got some gameplay. Let's just start with that. We'll go through some of this other stuff. Let's start Halo Infinite. That's how they started this off. We've seen some of this kind of cinematic before, of the guy and Master Chief in the getting shot down, and he seems to find Master Chief somewhere, and they have to go off and explore. The first time we've seen the grapple hook, so people caught that in the trailer artwork or whatever. Chief has a new grapple hook on his wrist. Going to help him explore, going to help him do some things. Also going to be really great when he joins a Smash Brothers roster and he's able to get back up on the stage using that grapple hook. Wishful thinking on putting that out in the universe right now.
Mark, he was just waiting for Doom Guy to do it first.
That's it. Yeah, he just had to see that it was such a great idea. Okay, Halo Infinite. I am so pumped for another Halo game. I'm pumped for this to lead off this generation. The good things. Let's talk about that first. It looks like Halo. It sounds like Halo. It looks like it plays like Halo. I'm very excited about the map, which is apparently bigger than the last two games combined, which is wild. I'm sure multiplayer is going to be fantastic and a ton of fun. It's going to be on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. This is going to be a hell of a time. What did you think about how this looked overall, though? This is their big showcase game. A lot of people saying it's not that impressive visually. Now, did the 4K stream improve that at all? You kind of alluded to that. I have a theory about this, and I'll share my thoughts after you share yours.
Good question. The 4K stream made it look like a very pretty Halo game, but not game-changing. Right. Of course, my TV, I don't know if I was seeing ray tracing. I don't really know. That's part of the problem. So I don't know if I saw that as well. I thought the the character model of your, I guess your compatriot, whatever we're gonna call him, beard guy from a foreign film, shows, and then the I guess the Brute Lord, whatever that guy's name was, his model up close blew me away though.
Yep.
So, but everything else, it did kind of look like as good as Halo 5 looked. So I wasn't blown away.
Yes, I completely agree. So I said this to a little group chat earlier, and so I'm gonna kind of reiterate it here. So apologize if those guys are listening to this. But I think the visual design, the overall design of Halo, is kind of hurting it, because it's similar to, I'm gonna say, Star Fox, because the ships, the aesthetics, the overall look of Star Fox and Halo and some of those older games were boxy by design, because they had to be back when they were designed, but they also became so iconic to those franchises that it's hard to change them too much. So you have to try to find this middle ground. If you don't change it enough, it looks like a 360 game at first glance. If you change it too much, it doesn't look like Halo. It doesn't feel like Halo. There are things that you'll notice in this trailer, and I'm sure it is even more evident in 4K. Draw distance, reflections, textures, that kind of stuff. If you look at his gloves holding it, like it looks like leather, you can see it's fantastic.
I mentioned that to Logan. I said, look at how good his hands look. And I'm like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, but most of the time, like, it took me probably half or even more of the trailer to notice that, because I was so focused on everything else, and you're so focused on the movement, and oh wow, what's this going? Oh, what's that? Is that a new enemy? Is this going? What? Oh man, he's got a grapple hook, and you don't notice, like, oh man, there's like crazy detail on the leather of his gloves underneath this armor. It's just crazy. But I think it's a super tough balance to reach, looking like Halo, which was designed on very, more limited systems. You got to keep that kind of aesthetic, but you also have to take it into this newer realm. It also has to run on Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X. That, I think it is kind of bogged down by that history. But overall, I thought it looked good, and I think it's going to look even better. Like we've been saying, a lot of this generation, it's going to look better when you're playing it, when it's locked in at 60 frames a second, 4K, HDR, ray tracing, all that shenanigans. It's going to make a big difference. But yeah, anyway, that's that.
So one thing I do want, there was some new weapons, I believe. So I'm not 100% clear if those were all new weapons. One looked like a revolver shotgun, or maybe it was a grenade launcher.
Yeah,
it looked like it was in a hand. Yeah. So we've got some new weapons, which is great, because I've always loved the fact that Halo, anything that drops, you can pick up and shoot. I love that. It's one of my favorite parts of Halo. So it looks really good. The traversal looked really great with the grapple hook. I really like it. It's not just for it's not just for. I don't think it is, but I think you could use it anytime. Maybe you can't. I don't know. I hope you can. Because that could be like there's an enemy up in the sky with the jetpack. Could you grab onto him with the grappling hook, come up and take him out? Because Halo's so iconic for like someone's in a tank. Well, I can take him out of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
the physics stuff has always been a big part of Halo. I remember a clip from a tournament, I think it was. There was a sniper rifle on the ground. The person was up on a ledge. They threw a grenade down on the ground behind the sniper rifle. It exploded. The sniper rifle flew up to the ledge. They caught the sniper rifle basically out of the air and used it to pick the person off that was across the stage and got the headshot kill. It was one of the craziest clips, but that's the kind of stuff that you see with this physics-based shenanigans that they put into Halo. So I'm hoping you can do crazy stuff like that, take things out of the air and grab guns and grab this and that and whatever. And I hope people can like break the game that way. And I hope that there's fun grapple hook and physics stuff,
Hijinks.
even in multiplayer. I think the hijinks especially, yes, that's a great way to put it. I think the hijinks is what makes Halo entertaining after the story in the multiplayer and so on. So I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah, one last question, though. They said this is an open world Halo, or it's, the map's big. I don't know what that means for a Halo, because Halo is very, very much go to point A, go to point B.
Right.
In Halo is going to feel weird, like, I have to go on a side quest to collect 4 skulls before I do that. I mean, I don't know how to pull that off, because Halo is very much always feels urgent. I have to do this or the world will explode or Cortana will die. And so or my guy that's in my shuttle back that I told him I would come back and hurry, he's going to be pretty pissed off me if I went off and got grandma a basket of goodies. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Can they pull it off?
I think so. I think if it's not overly fetch questy, if they still stick with the halo of it all, I suppose. If it's not, grab grandma a basket full of cookies from a raccoon that stole it or whatever. But I think as you're going through, you are Master Chief, and as you're going through, if this is a lived-in Halo ring, if this is a lived-in world, you are going to find maybe a house that some brutes are attacking, or a family where they had to bail out of the town, but their little girl is stuck back there, or whatever. There could be things, you saw today, there were 3 gun turrets that you had to take out. Well, I'm guessing that there's going to be some other stuff. If this is a lived-in world and a big open world, there are going to be some other things to explore, some other shit that goes down on your way to those 3 turrets. And I'm hoping that's where they make the ability to make those choices, the ability to say, you know what, Johnny McBeardface is back on the ship waiting for me. I have to take out these turrets. You guys figure out your burning house on your own. That's past Master Chiefs. That's under my pay grade. Or you can say, you know what, I'm the hero this place needs right now. Yeah, Johnny McBeardface can wait for a second. I'm going to save this family, and then I'm going to take out the turrets. And if he doesn't like it, he's going to get a giant Master Chief boot to the face. You're going to be able to hopefully play this the way you want to.
Yeah, because I think if anything, people absolutely love the Halo campaign, and they always want more. So if there's a way to expand the length of that without getting in the way of still the core story, but giving people an option, like a Witcher, like you can play the main campaign, or you can go off, I would appreciate that. I think it would be an easy way to add content and more, I guess, complete playthroughs.
Yeah, I heard they're changing a bit about Cortana in this one. She's going to come back as a guy, and constantly going to call you saying, "Hey, Chief, you want to come play some bowling, man?" As a Grand Theft Auto reference. That was really bad.
That would help if I ever played.
Cousin Nico. Yeah, okay.
I do remember Cousin Nico from 4, right? Yeah.
Hey, cousin, you want to play some bowling? It's like, I'm in the middle of a mission. Stop calling me.
It's my great I guess, sin. I have really never gotten to GTA, but maybe one day.
Oh, there we go. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So, Mark, moving on, and this is going to be interesting. So I want to say, let's maybe do a game. Gameplay or no gameplay? We talk about these games as they show up. We got a little bit more of a look into Senua's Saga. It was kind of interesting because they went to each studio's location, which was kind of nice. You're like, hey, we're going to this studio. So then when we went to where Hellblade, where Ninja Theory is located, and they talked a little bit more about Hellblade 2. Didn't show a whole lot more, but they talked about, hey, we made a documentary that we made this in Iceland. That's cool.
Kind of cool. Yep, cool behind the scenes, but yeah, no gameplay for that one. I still need to play the first one. It looks like a game that I'd get into, and I've even downloaded it onto my Xbox. It's just sitting there waiting for me to press start, but I just have not.
This is our first co-op mode challenge, Mark. I just started playing it.
Ooh.
I will hold off play any more of it until you start. And we'll play it together. Not together, but we'll play it and we'll actually talk about it in concert on future shows. Let me know when you're going to play it because I have other games to play. But when you choose to pursue it, I will start it and play it through.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Challenge accepted.
Groovy, man. Groovy.
World premiere.
Thank you. So I tell you, we'll just go through this really quick. We got a new game announced, which I assume is going to be exclusive. This is going to be I really think this is going to be, the gem of Xbox Game Studios. What do you think about Avowed?
I think it looks cool. It was a great trailer. Did we see? This wasn't gameplay, or it kind of looked like it switched into gameplay. Yeah,
it could have been gameplay
at the end there. Like he's holding this, and he does the Doctor Strange thing with his hands and everything. Looks like it could have gone. Skyrim. Yeah. But I like that style of game. I put a ridiculous amount of hours into Skyrim on multiple platforms. I will play the hell out of this. I just know I will. So yeah, I'm in 100%. I am in.
It's amazing to see Oblivion, what they are capable of and what they can bring, especially when they're fully supported. I mean, I thought this was going to be their Pillars series, so I wasn't going to be that excited about it because it's kind of like a Diablo-esque type game. The fact that they're making a Skyrim game, which considering we know that they could make a Fallout game, wow, I'm just blown away. This is going to be, I think, could be one of the must-have franchises for Xbox. And I don't want to put too much out there, but I'm so excited about this. So, yes. And coming in probably 2024.
Yeah, there was some of these that we got the release windows or a hint at something. This one was just like, you'll get it when you get it, bitches.
Yes.
Enjoy this trailer.
I would say that's probably a theme. We did not get hardly any release dates at all.
Yeah, no. Nothing solid.
Speaking of which, Mark.
The one that I missed, Forza Motorsport.
Do you like trailers for That's Not Game Action?
Oh, for a car game? Come on.
It was pretty, but it was very exciting looking at some people fixing a car or getting a car ready to race. And then we saw a car race, but it was definitely an in-game cinematic.
Blech.
So, and no release date. So we are not getting a Forza game this fall.
So who just called that recently? They said the Xbox was pitching
Dirt 5, right?
It Dirt 5, yeah. Yes. So much that they were like, we are not getting Motorsport. I can't remember if that was the Xbox Drive or
it was Ryan McCaffrey.
Was it I was going to say one of the IGN podcasts. Yes. Okay. All right. I was just listening to that fairly recently. So right on with that one, Mr. McCaffrey, like he's listening. Let's State of Decay. What'd you think of this trailer?
Once again, it was no gameplay, but it was a trailer and zombie deer eating. Deer are not carnivores, but the zombie deer eating a wolf, freaky.
Yep. Never ever wanted to see that. Never. I don't know if I'll play this game based simply on that deer screaming. That was not something I ever wanted in my life. I like deers. I make friends with the deers when I go to the wildlife park. This is not something I want in my brain. That was just like, nope. Keep that to yourself.
That is the personification of 2020. Zombie deer.
Zombie deer. Yeah. That's going to be, get ready for September. Zombie deer. You see, they just found bats that are as big as people in
the Philippines.
The Philippines. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so my wife actually, I'm like, are you aware of this? Yes, Todd, I'm aware of this. Yeah. I'm from that country. I'm like, great. Okay. It's not humans dressed up as bats, apparently.
Yeah, no. Man Bat is real, and he's coming for July.
Yes. State of Decay. What is your feel on that series, Mark? Because I've
never played any of them. No, not at all. The zombie. zombie genre, I guess, is something that I've kind of fallen out of. Used to absolutely love anything I could get my hands on, Resident Evil, whatever it was. But yeah, I don't know. I might pick this one up, depends on how it looks. And I don't know if this is one that I'll be able to just jump into, or if I should maybe try to hunt down 1 and 2. I don't know. I'm not overly concerned.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a survival game with a lot of building elements. You form a community, that type of thing like that. So it's almost like The Walking Dead, but you're actually more focused on building a community to survive things. So, but that definitely is not a game for me. For some reason, in my mind, when I first saw it, I'm like, is this Left 4 Dead 3? No, it's not Left 4 Dead 3. Darn.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Crossfire X looks kind of Call of Duty-esque, and since we haven't heard anything of this year's Call of Duty, then maybe this game can get a little attention. I thought the trailer was kind of cool. I liked the suit. That was kind of badass. There was a lot of, is it free to play, and this was the focus on the story mode, or it was I was a little distracted at work trying to pay attention to this. I had some people talking, so I was kind of in and out. So what are your impressions on this one?
Yeah, so Crossfire X apparently is a big series overseas. It's a free multiplayer game. There actually was a beta for this on Xbox One. It's got the exclusive beta, at least at this point. So yeah, I heard people saying it's an adequate Call of Duty free-to-play game. Okay. But what makes this interesting is the fact that they're making a campaign, and Remedy is making this. That right there puts it on my radar because I love Remedy. They make great single-player narratives. So if they can successfully take that engine, add some cool mechanics, and add a real campaign versus we took the multiplayer and kind of made it a campaign, which Battlefront 2 did that, essentially, which was entertaining, but you could kind of see where it was constrained by it's a multiplayer game that we added a narrative to. So, yeah, but yeah, I'll try it out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, the free multiplayer, check, thumbs up from me. Cool looking story from a great studio, check, 2 thumbs up. I am 100% going to try this one out.
Mark, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What franchise has 80,000 video games tied to it?
I want to say the Super Mario Brothers series, but I know the answer is something different. You're talking about Warhammer.
Yes. Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. The people that are like big into tabletop gaming that, paint little statues and do that type of gaming, Warhammer is huge. And they've had 1 billion video games, but I can't keep them straight. Some are turn-based RPG, some are tactical, some are X, Y, and Z, some are just action, adventure, some are Diablo-likes, and apparently this game is an FPS.
Looks cool.
I thought it was Wolfenstein first because they look kind of like Nazi-esque.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely had that kind of visual vibe to it for sure. So when they threw up the Warhammer 40K thing, I was like, okay, didn't see that one coming, but this game kind of looks badass. Maybe this will be what gets me into that series. They did show off not that long ago, I want to say a year or two ago, a Warhammer game for iPhone, iPad kind of stuff that I thought looked kind of badass, but I never got into. So since then, this series, I'm not like a tabletop gamer at all, so it's never been on my radar before. But since then, that Warhammer name has been kind of on my radar. I was like, this might be a world I could kind of get interested in. So maybe this is my jumping in point. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, and there's other Warhammer games on Game Pass right now too. And it's funny because there's Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000. So Warhammer is like fantasy. And Warhammer 40,000 is sci-fi, but they also have like fantasy creatures in sci-fi. It's very weird, but there you go. Check it out, guys.
Big surprise next for me was Phantasy Star Online 2. I will be the first to admit I am not a big JRPG guy. I'm not a big RPG guy. I will probably skip this game, but I was still excited because of what I said earlier of Xbox has never been synonymous with those Japanese kind of games. So to see this coming to Xbox and being showcased in this way, I was just very excited for fans of this series and for fans of this kind of game, even though I'm not one of them. This still got me very excited. So how are you feeling about this?
It looked really fun. Now, I don't know if it's fun to play or not. And I don't know if it's like actually like action based or if it's like an MMO where you are making a move, but you're not actually physically touching anything.
Right.
But it looked cool. I'm like, this is neat. And it's, I agree. Anything they can have that sets it apart, and they got the initiative to secure it, and it's free to play. Perfect.
Yep.
And Mark, I don't know if you've noticed on Xbox Game Pass, their perks program, they often throw in like free bits and bobs that you need to play those games too, which is great. Like it's like, here's 30,000 credits or this and that, which is a nice give to get people interested and actually continue to, motivate them to continue to play.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime. That's one of the things that's kept me in Fortnite. Aside from that's just where my friends hang out and I want to hang out with them and play video games. But with Save the World mode in Fortnite, I've gotten a ton just for logging in. I don't even play Save the World for the most part or, at all anymore. But just for logging in, I get free V-Bucks. And the perk system with Xbox is kind of the same way. You get these little perks and you can get coins to spend on skins or to spend on this, that, or whatever. And it's like you said, a great way to keep you in that game or to incentivize you to try out the game. So who knows? This might be my first jump into Phantasy Star. If there's people playing it, that like you said, it's free to try. So why not?
Fun fact, when I got my Dreamcast, my future brother-in-law borrowed my Dreamcast to play Phantasy Star Online offline.
Okay.
Because you could play it offline. So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, next game. This was previously shown. I don't know if this was just another trailer. I don't think there was any gameplay, but I could be wrong. Team Bloobers, who made the Blair Witch Project game that came out last year, I believe, called The Medium. And fun fact with this game, I mean, this is kind of that PlayStation X or PlayStation type of franchise where it's a third person, very adult themed. I'm not sure what the gameplay narrative will be or gameplay beats will be, but it's definitely very narrative. And this is called The Medium. And this will only be on Xbox Series X. And this actually was called out. They said, we requested that this only be on Xbox Series X because there's things we just can't do on Xbox One hardware.
It's rendering two worlds simultaneously. Like you said,
like Soul Reaver, right?
Yeah.
Where it goes back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. Only this looks like it's doing it live, no loading or minimal loading. Like you said, I don't know if we got gameplay. There was some stuff that looks like it could have been gameplay, but it could have also just been some nice cinematic or a little bit of showcase kind of stuff. But man, that is an impressive looking piece of tech. And if you remember, I said the same thing when we saw Ratchet and Clank back on the PlayStation 5 reveal, that those things of jumping in between from world to world, or there's two simultaneous worlds and there's no loading, that impressed me back then. This impressed the hell out of me today, of seeing, okay, there's a monster in this world, but there's no monster in that world. It's like the in between, and she's in this place and there's writing on that wall, but there's something in this room and there's something like, man, again, I don't know if I'll be playing this one, but I was just excited for the tech. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very neat. It kind of reminds me of what it was at Halo Combat Evolve, the for the Master Chief Collection, where you could just click a button and it went to the style. Same thing here. Yeah. You transfer, like in Soul Reaver, you're in one world or the other, and it's part of the gameplay mechanics as well. So I like that. It's very cool. Yeah, and I didn't play Blair Witch, but I mean, I've heard good things. So this makes me excited. And they're a third party in this game, I believe, is totally exclusive to Xbox. It's not a launch exclusive. This is a game that will only buy on Xbox or PC, which is cool. Yeah. Now, Mark, I think you and I are a fan of this studio.
100%. Yes.
This blew me away when I saw who made it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, The Gunk, made by Image and Form, part of the Thunderful Games, which is Zoink and Image and Form. I am an enormous fan of the SteamWorld series, especially SteamWorld Dig 1 and SteamWorld Dig 2. The first SteamWorld Dig was a game that I just literally could not put down. I was glued to my 3DS for hours at a time for a couple of days until I finished it. And yeah, this studio is fantastic at everything they do, and they're doing a 3D platforming exploration game with a giant arm cannon and goopy effects on a strange planet. This looks awesome. I am so in. Yeah, and super surprising that it's Game Pass, it's day and date, it's a indie studio on a big Xbox showcase. They weren't included in that pre-roll. They weren't including at the ID at Xbox. This is featured. So A, congrats to that studio, and B, this looks badass.
Yeah, I to see a studio that has only made a certain type of game and style to now do this, and they've never shied away from different genres, and to see this, I'm like, I'm all in. God, you guys are talented to be able to do this. And it just shows that indies shouldn't be relegated to be, 8-bit or side-scrolling. They can make really fantastic, looks like a action platformer type of game. And the reason it's called The Gunk is because you're sucking up a bunch of gunk. But there are creatures in the gunk that you have to take out. So
yeah,
very cool. Very cool. Yes, Bobby Pauls has to be excited about this. And maybe he'll actually play.
I think he tweeted Xbox Series X as a day one purchase because of the gunk. Thanks, Image and Form, or something to that effect. So he is pumped.
Bobby, throw your Switch in the trash.
I don't think he's that pumped, but yeah,
well,
he's definitely excited.
And I don't know if this is a Series X exclusive or you'll play. I think this is an Xbox One game as well. Maybe. Don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what they said about this one, but the fact that it's coming to Game Pass. Again, Game Pass is continuing to be the best value in gaming. If this is quote unquote free on Game Pass, I mean, it's built into the subscription. It's going to take a whole lot for me to buy it somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely. Next, we got Tetris Effect Connected. This is Tetris Effect has been on other platforms, but this one looks like it's a multiplayer game playing Tetris. I'm just confused. What really sets it apart from the others, except unless the others were not multiplayer, maybe that's where it's different. Don't know.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm not sure.
Tetris Effect's got great reviews, so it's kind of cool. That was a VR game as well. Kind of cool to see another Tetris game. Tetris will never stop Tetrising.
No, for sure. Did anyone else think this was a rhythm game or something at first?
I did, because everybody was kind of like
they were bopping along to the music, and I started bopping along to the music, and I'm just like, what is this? Is going to be some kind of like little rhythm music game? And I'm like getting right into it, and I'm like ready to Shazam the thing, and then it's like Tetris. I'm like, what the? Okay, cool, I'm in.
Apparently, it's a multiplayer exclusive expansion to Xbox. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah. So, Mark, for the next game, what was your guess that this was a Metro game? Because I thought it was a Metro game.
It did look Metro-ish. I will also admit this is one that I kind of caught the tail end of. So, Stalker 2. Let's hear your impressions, because again, I just really caught the tail end of this one.
I don't know much about Stalker. Apparently it's in that Metro-esque game where you are basically in a wasteland Russia and you have to survive, and you're basically surviving in that depressed area. When I first saw it, I saw that like was actually a carousel or almost like it almost looked like that mode in Call of Duty, was it 4? And it was like you were on this battleground multiplayer, and it was part of like an amusement park.
Yeah.
That famous scene. And I'm like, is this Call of Duty? Is this like a exclusive? Nope. It was just once again a beaten down nuclear fallout Russia with an amusement park. So there you go. I don't know much about this. I'm guessing it's going to be very difficult, very hard, and very dark.
Yeah. Stalker 1, a game that I just straight up like either was not on my radar or I've forgotten about or just straight up never heard about. But anyway, yeah, this is let's go on to the next one because that one is getting me very excited. So for anyone that doesn't know, I got into this generation, the current generation, PlayStation 4, because of Destiny 2. Because of Destiny 1. They had the exclusive for Destiny. They had the white PlayStation 4, which I still have. That is my PlayStation 4, the Destiny edition. And I've been a big Destiny fan ever since. Todd, I think you and I played the first Destiny like way back in the day. We connected through one of the Facebook groups with was it Frank?
Yes, it was.
Big Frankie,
and then,
I think.
Yeah, and Ray Serio as well.
Yeah,
that's how I met Ray Serio. I played him in the multiplayer alpha.
Okay.
For Destiny 1. And I was like sold. And I met so many people through Destiny, loved it. And my Destiny passion has fallen off since Forsaken.
Yeah. So I've definitely fallen out of Destiny 2, but the fact that it is coming to Game Pass, Sean Capri called this one. So Sean, fantastic job there. But coming to Game Pass, and here's something that if I had have predicted this like Sean, I would have gotten at least this part wrong. All the expansions are coming to Game Pass, which a lot of times you'll see something come to Game Pass, but the expansions are not included. If you want the DLC or whatever, you have to buy that. This one is Destiny 2, and all the already released expansions are coming to Game Pass. I think they said September for this one. So this is huge. This is, if to me, it's kind of fitting if last generation I went PS4 kind of because of Destiny and their association with this, and this generation I am 100% leaning towards Xbox, not just because of Destiny 2. Let's be honest, I already own that game, but it's kind of funny with the main reason is Game Pass, and Destiny 2 is included in that. So I'm all in on Xbox, all in on Game Pass, and Destiny 2 is just one of those little cherries on top that they're adding that I'm just very excited about. And like I said before, xCloud, you're going to be able to play this game anywhere, anytime, on any device through your Xbox. Oh, man, just all the excitement. This is great.
Yeah, cross save is part of Destiny 2 now, which is great because now I have been playing on PS4 like you, Mark. I don't have to pay for the current expansion, and I can play on Xbox, which is great because why not? It's fun. And then we are getting cross play in November, I believe, when the new expansion launches. So Destiny 2 is one of those people that are just pushing the envelope to make sure everybody can play together where you want, how you want, which I think is great. And because I don't want to pay for the expansion, I can do it for free here. So kudos.
Yeah, really, really fantastic. Something not featured that I do want to mention, though, where you mentioned cross-save and cross-play. Psyonix just announced that they're bringing Rocket League cross. It's going to be free to play, so no longer $20 a pop or whatever it was. And I've been saying that for a while. They need to go free to play because all their DLC is starting to be way overpriced. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of saw that was coming, but also you're going to be able to do cross save. So all the stuff that I bought on Switch, I'm going to be able to take over to my Xbox because it's on Game Pass. And I started playing that game on Switch, and now it's going to be much better looking on Xbox, and I'm still going to get all my fun vehicles. So I'm super excited about that. But let's get back to today's exciting news with Psychonauts 2. This one we definitely saw some gameplay of. We also saw some fun, quirky, weird behind the scenes stuff with Jack Black singing a song. And I mean, it's exactly what you expect from a Double Fine announcement, and fun, weird, quirky, strange game studio like them to do something just out there like this. So what do you think of Psychonauts 2?
I Another gaming sin, I've never beat Psychonauts 1. I need to because I own it on like 5 devices. So I definitely will do that before I play this because it's my type of game. Love that. Love the sense of humor. And I cannot wait. They did have a Psychonauts VR game, which I've never played, which I've heard is very good too. And the buzz is on Psychonauts 2, before they were purchased by Xbox, they were going to be in a position where they were going to actually have to take content out of the game because they couldn't afford it. By being purchased by Xbox, they're now going to be able to keep the vision intact, which I love. It's perfect. Yeah. Xbox has done something fantastic where they have decided not to meddle, just to fund and just support. So I am all in on this, and I love this, and I hope Double Fine can just keep doing what they want to do, but I am mad that they aren't making a Rare game like I thought they would do. But yeah, this is great. It's going to come. We still have no release date. I thought this might be a fall game, quite honestly.
Well, I mean, we have to get some of these games in the fall. We have to get some of these for launch. So we'll see if this is at least launch window, but actually, sorry. No, it just got pushed back.
No! What?
Yeah, I'm seeing that on IGN literally right now. Delayed to 2021.
Thanks, Xbox, for giving them all the money
Sorry.
and what they want to do.
I literally
lazy developers, Mark.
Psychonauts 2 releases in 2021 on Xbox Game Pass, Windows PC, Mac, Linux, and PS4. So not only are they not meddling, but they're still allowing this to be released everywhere, which I think is just speaks to how good Microsoft is. They haven't pinned Minecraft down to one platform. They're letting Psychonauts release all over the place. This is great, even though it is going to be delayed.
Yeah, I think this might have been tied to the old contract before they were bought. So makes sense, just like Outer Worlds was also. And, that's great. Let it happen. We will get great Double Fine exclusive games eventually, and they'll make the Rare game I thought they would make.
Yes, there you go. That's the next step for them, for sure. Yeah.
So this next game it's not an Xbox studio, but it's a studio they have hired to make a game that they have been developing called As Dusk Falls. This is they call it kind of like a narrative adventure in a different style, because if you looked at this trailer, this is almost like I don't call it picture book, but it definitely feels like it's a stop motion type of animation in a way.
Yeah, it's it reminds me of I think it was it Marvel or DC? They did some like comics brought to life kind of thing, right? Like it was they're not all, it's not fully animated, but it's also not just still images. So the a person might move, but nothing else in the scene moves, or their head might move, but nothing else really. I really dug how this game looks. I mean, it's definitely not the usual type of game that I play, but something about this just really grabbed me. And I don't know if it was going back to my art roots and just kind of like, ooh, that looks like a pretty painting. Oh, I wish I still had time to paint or something. I don't know what it was, but this game grabbed me and I want to play it.
Yeah, they're calling it an interactive drama. The art style is akin to taking models. And like Greg Land, he's a comic book artist who basically he takes pictures of models and actually incorporates them into his illustrations. So it almost looks like a real person. And he sometimes gets a lot of headache for it because they're like, you don't actually do anything. You just like kind of trace people. And I'm like, I get that. But in this
apply
instance,
filter.
Exactly. So, but this is very different. It's a style I haven't seen. It kind of reminds me of like that movie A Scanner Darkly, which was people rotoscoped or whatever the art. And this is a different type of narrative, but it definitely is a more straightforward game. I did not see any type of fantastic elements to it. More of a straightforward drama, which is unique for Xbox. So I give them kudos for trying something new.
Yeah. Seems like a cool maybe murder mystery something. Yeah. There's something going on there. Like I was just interested in the story itself. Like it seems cool, and it seems like if it's not like too overly graphic, could be the kind of game that my wife just wants to watch me play and kind of help with some of the story beats or some of the decisions or something like that. But it could be a cool kind of interactive, like, hey, we're not going to watch whatever CSI or something. We're going to watch, watch this game. So it could be cool.
Yeah. A story where your skill in gaming doesn't have to stop you from playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next is Grounded. This was a game that already got a beta. I'm assuming this game comes out this fall.
Yeah. If it already has a beta, I think that's going to be launch, if not very shortly after.
Yeah, I love the trailer though, Mark. It was so tongue in cheek because they were like, "This is the game by the team that doesn't make games like this." Like,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If you want the biggest game of the year, well, wait for Cyberpunk. This isn't it. Like,
yes,
just the whole thing was fantastic. It looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Fortnite Save the World mode, not Battle Royale. Yes. I think this game looks really, really fun. This could have been one of those trailers that they added humor to, and that humor might not be in the game, but I'm hoping there is some of that humor that's passed on. I mean, you probably won't have a narrator making weird little funny jokes the whole time, but I think if they can add some of that quirkiness and set up some of those situations so when you're playing with your friends, you can kind of screw them over and let them get eaten by a spider as you run away or something. Or I think it's going to be a cool little escape from the usual grittiness of some of these games.
Yeah, it just once again shows what Oblivion's capable of, and the fact that they can make 3 disparate types of games just really impresses me again, that they can make so many different genres and just nail them typically, which is awesome. So yeah, it's more value to Game Pass, and it's more little types of releases they can make that don't have to be AAAs. So
yeah,
and as we transition to Oblivion again, they're very popular. We are getting DLC to Outer Worlds, which I thought was happening, but couldn't remember if it was or not. We're getting Peril on Gorgon. It's basically a new planet, and it's going to have new weapons and things like that. Coming September 9th. I don't know though if this is paid, like you get the base game and then you have to pay for it or not, which has been common, which is like Minecraft Dungeons. You had to pay for the DLC, so I'm not sure if it's pay or not. But
I think, I could be very wrong on this one, but I think they said every single thing that you've seen today is going to be on Game Pass. I would imagine this is going to be paid DLC for other people.
Okay.
But like the Destiny stuff, I think this is going to be free or included with Game Pass. I have to stop saying free for Game Pass because it is a service we pay for. It's going to be included in Game Pass on September 9th when everyone else will have to pay for this.
And that makes sense because it is going to be on PlayStation, going to be on PC if you bought it on Steam or whatever. But that's perfect if it is, because I know that was some way that they do make up some extra money by charging you for those extra bits. But if they don't, even better, because I love the Outer Worlds and I beat that game.
Yep.
Another game, Mark. Tell me why by Don't Nod.
Nothing but right. Yeah.
Tell me why. Yeah, we can all sing it together. Yes. Yeah. By Don't Nod, which is just a weird name, but they make Strange. Oh, what's the name of the series? Stranger Things.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. There you go. I've never played one of those games, but I heard they're very good.
Really enjoyed the first one. Okay. I didn't get into the second one, but I blew through the first one in, I think, 2 nights. I just got really hooked on, again, that story, that narrative, and making those decisions and seeing where it all ended. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a game. I think you said this. It's not a game that I'm going to go back and play ever again, but I enjoyed the story. I think you said that about a game last week. So that was this one for me. But Tell Me Why, again, looks like they're taking that kind of narrative, that kind of drama, and some sort of weird little supernatural power, supernatural-ish something, and putting it in there. Sounds like it's going to be pretty well acted. There were a few parts that I was like, okay, sure, someone in a sound booth, but for the most part, it sounds like it's going to be pretty good and up to their standard of games.
Yeah, this is a tale of a brother and a sister, where you find out actually it is the sister was transgendered and has basically established themselves as a male, which is, you see that one moment. I'm like, I see how they showed that moment, which brings in a conflict to a family issue. And these two siblings, apparently they have the ability to resonate images of the past as kind of a power, and they're trying to solve their past issues together. So I'm assuming it's in this Life is Strange type format.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're not breaking their mold too much gameplay wise, or maybe even story wise, because Life is Strange was kind of real world, but also some sort of supernatural something going on that you were interested in the real world drama, but also like what the hell is going on with the powers and stuff like that. So this seems to be very in that same kind of realm, but it looks like a really interesting story. And I don't know, maybe it's just the way I'm feeling today or something. I'm looking for something different, but between As Dusk Falls and my interest in this one, it's like, what the hell? I'm used to shooting people in games. Like, I don't know, man. It's something is calling me for these types of experiences.
Mark, you just want to hug it out.
I guess so. Yeah. Maybe I got to go hug my dog or something. She's laying right next to me. That's why I said dog instead of wife or baby.
Aw.
Yeah.
Then a game that we still haven't seen really gameplay from this, but I mean, this trailer looks beautiful. That is Everwild. This is Rare's new game. It is a beautiful art style. I'm not sure what makes it unique, but I couldn't tell you what makes it pretty, but it's pretty. It's almost painterly or something like that. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah, I am so excited for this. We talked about Destiny getting me into the PS4 and this generation. If you're wondering what brought me over to the Xbox camp this generation, it was Sea of Thieves, no doubt. So I love Sea of Thieves, still love it. They're still doing great things with that game. If you haven't checked it out, stop sleeping on Sea of Thieves. But Everwild, man, like you said, there's something about it that looks, I don't know, Pixar Frozen-esque with some of the magic stuff that they were bringing out, and it just. Yeah, I cannot wait to see what we're going to be doing in this game and how it's actually going to play. And that's one of the big problems is gameplay, but still can't wait.
Well, we'll talk about this, but I think I asked for them to show what's the future of Xbox, and I think they are doing that for us. These games are coming eventually, and they can't necessarily show us trailers. So I mean, I can't want both. Unfortunately, but I to this point there I feel like we continuously got this theme of we didn't get a lot of gameplay, so really don't know what's coming this fall, but and we definitely something we didn't get gameplay, but this is the just one more thing moment, and that is Fable, and it was confirmed. Playground Games, this is what they're making, and the one thing I can take away from this seems to be a reboot because it's just Fable, not Fable 4, but also they are keeping the tone consistent with Fable, which means comedy. And I love that. Yeah, that moment in the trailer where you got the bit of comedy, and I don't really even want to spoil it because I want people, if they haven't seen this, just to go watch it. We have been explaining a few things here and there as we go, but this is one that I'm going to purposefully leave out and just say that when that moment happened, again, I'm watching this kind of in a little window at my desk at work while I'm doing some other stuff, and I laughed out loud, to which like one of the guys in the showroom kind of like looked over and was like, "You all right?" And I'd be like, yep, just listening to something, because I had my headphones in, and but it actually made me like LOL IRL. So 100% excited for Fable. And 100% confirmed now, because now we have nothing to think what could happen with Xbox, because everything we've kind of projected has happened now. So, there are a few things that were projected or even teased today, like we saw in Grounded, a toy Battletoad. Where the everlasting effing F is Battletoads? Come on.
Like, that game's been rumored to be like, it's constantly rumored to be like and this afternoon, as soon as this is over, you're going to be able to play Battletoads. It's like, people even think that game's ready. Mm-hmm. Like, where is it? They haven't talked about it. They haven't shared it. It's like, it's that thing that's just this everlasting joke of like, oh yeah, no, we're going to get a Battlefields drop like today. Don't worry about that. Like, and it's like, we got a freaking toy tease and Grounded and still no mention of the damn game. But like,
Mark, need more time for ray tracing.
I guess. Yeah,
so one thing that was, I mean, like we talked about, there wasn't a lot of gameplay shown with most of these trailers, which I would say it's a sin they committed the first time. But once again, I think people got excited because we saw lots of new things, which are great. All of these things are coming to Game Pass, so they're free if you own it. So that's awesome as well. But they did one thing that was they did a good job with at least showing where this game was coming to, and if it was a console launch exclusive or whatever. And they did, and there was a couple games we actually note here that are for Xbox Series X or PC only. So these may be the first games that we do not get Xbox One support. Now, they haven't ruled it out, but they said we're designing first there. So, and I think this is true. These games potentially, and that may mean these games are coming out in 2 years, which may mean that's when Xbox One support dies off. And I'm perfectly fine with that. So Fable, Forza Motorsport, Avowed, As Dusk Falls, which seems odd because that game doesn't seem like it would take a lot of horsepower. Yeah. Everwild, I could see that in State of Decay 3 because we have not seen that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the As Dusk Falls is the real standout here for okay, but why?
Yeah.
And they seem to have been justifying everything. And who knows? We're not game developers. I don't know. Maybe they're using some sort of art style in this. And they did show real people even in the trailer kind of posing for things. Yeah. So maybe there is something going on where there's a ton of stuff that's kind of pre-recorded, and if you're making decisions on the fly, it can branch off in a multitude of different paths, and there's no loading or something there that makes it a seamless transitional game that maybe just couldn't be done on current software. I don't know, but I'm sure there's a reasoning behind it, because it seems like Xbox this time around is really pushing that, like, if your game can run, it's going to run on the old software, so the old platforms. So yeah, that one stood out to me for sure though.
Yeah, so I mean, and like we had with the PlayStation, we will get updates on this event after the fact, because there will be a lot of questions of asked. They have to clarify and things like that. So this isn't the end all be all, folks. If we made a mistake, it's probably because they are changing their tune or adding more information, and that's perfectly fine because we still have 4 months before we launch.
So that's great. Yeah, we have seen everything, and earlier, before we even started recording, I said it was a fantastic showcase on Twitter earlier. I said fantastic showcase from Xbox. So spoiler alert, I already thought it was fantastic, but we'll give our scores in a second. But I did say I can't wait to chat with Todd Oxtra about this soon on this very podcast. But I also wanted people, I said, let me know your favorite thing shown, and we will include some community reactions on the show. It was a little bit last minute, so we did get one response, and that was from Edward Varnell at That Retro Code, and he shared it was a strong showcase. Microsoft needed this. They came with better production value in the show and provided a diverse cast of characters and genres to show that they have titles for everyone, which I totally agree with. Edward also added Everwild is my personal highlight, with As Dusk Falls giving me Hotel Dusk Room 213 vibes. I don't know what that is, but I'm glad he's getting some good vibes from that. And Everwild, yes, 100% agree that is that's going to be a hell of a game. And I put my full trust in Rare to deliver a fantastic product, as they've done with Sea of Thieves. I'm so happy. I was talking to, again, that group that I was mentioning before. And we were chatting. One of the guys said, like, he feels like Rare has still been wasted. And I was like, maybe in the 360 days when they were stuck on like avatars and stupid
avatars
and
games. And Kinect Sports. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, Man, if you have skipped out, I just said, like, if you've skipped out on Sea of Thieves, like, stop, go back and play it. It's fantastic. They are a powerhouse creative studio, and I have no doubt that game is going to be good. So, Edward, thank you so much for your feedback.
Ed's great. Now it's time to give our reviews of the show.
Event as a whole, I started off this conversation saying this, and I'll reiterate it now. Based on what you were looking for out of this event, this was either a total disaster or a fantastic showcase of games. I'm more in the later one that I thought as a series. I'm looking at Xbox as a series as a service platform now. It's not the hardware that I have. It is the service, the games that are on this service of Microsoft Gaming Xbox. That's what it is. If I get the Xbox Series X, which I will, great. I'm going to be playing on the most powerful whatever. But it's just like a PC. You know, if you don't upgrade to the most powerful graphics card, you can still play PC games, right? It's if you go at it with that mentality, looking like this is a showcase of Game Pass, it's great. 2 thumbs up for me. I think overall, yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more gameplay. I would have maybe liked, I know they said they were not going to show it. It was all going to be about the games, but I still would have liked something about hardware, price, launch dates, something. And I would have liked some launch dates for some of these. So overall, I'm going to stick with my old rating method. I'm going to give this 5 out of 6 contraband chicken nuggets from my 6-pack of contraband chicken nuggets. I thought it was really good. I thought, yes, there are some things that could have done better, but overall, this was showcasing why you should be in the Xbox ecosystem. Maybe not necessarily why you should get an Xbox Series X at launch, but sure as hell why you should have Game Pass and some sort of device that can take advantage of that, whether it's PC, Xbox, Series X, whatever.
Yeah, I think you make a great point. This was all about the games you can play on Game Pass because these games are all there. I didn't see anything that said I need a Series X to do this, except when you mentioned the one game, Medium. So in this instance, they didn't do what we'd asked them to do, which was show this is on Xbox One X. This is what you get with the Series X. So that is not a showcase of the hardware, I would say, in this instance. But lots of great games that I can all play for free, so I don't have to worry about how I'm going to play them because I have an Xbox One X. So it makes me very happy that I'm going to get to play these all these games, and I don't care if they're 4K 60 or 4K 30 or 1080 60. I can play them. Very excited about that. Some games that were stand out to me, once again, were Avowed. I thought Halo Infinite looked great, but it wasn't game-breaking to me. I also liked Everwild, and I'm super excited about Fable.
So can I stop you there for 2 seconds?
Yes.
You just said there's no reason to get an Xbox Series X, and you just listed 3 of the Xbox Series X only games.
Mark,
as games
I've been hoisted by my own petard. Damn you.
I don't mean to pick on you, Todd.
No, you saw the flaw in my ways, and now you've made me have to buy a Series X.
You just gave yourself a big reason, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry, Siri just started talking on my wrist. I know you do. That's why I pointed that out. I just wanted to poke a little fun at you there. But yeah, out of the, was it 5 games that they said were Series X exclusive? You just listed 3 of them as stuff you're excited about. So they did give you a reason to spend that whatever much money they announced at a later date, which is why I'm all in on Series X because I'm excited about those same games and then some. But yeah, so I think they subtly gave us reasons, but for the most part, I think it was still showing off Game Pass.
So, folks, that is it for the show. But it is time for you to give your thoughts, just like Eddie V did previously. And you can do that a couple of different ways. Mark, how can they do that?
Well, they can follow us on the Facebook group, Secret Friends Unite. We're always looking for feedback there. It's a great place. You can also follow Secret Friends Unite, the Facebook page, but the group's a little bit more interactive. So go there. You could follow at @the_Canardian or at @TOxtra on Twitter, or we have our own Twitter account just for co-op mode, and that is at @co_op_mode_pod. That's a mouthful. So if you can't find it, just search Co-op Mode, and I'm sure, or we'll include it in the show notes and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely.
But co_op mode _pod. Co-op Mode was taken, but we are so excited to have our own Twitter account separate from Secret Friends Unite. That's very exciting, where we can kind of condense everything instead of having to follow both Todd and I separately, but we still encourage you to do that and share your thoughts, just like Todd said, like Eddie did earlier. And you can also call the hotline. That's 872-225-2496. Leave some thoughts, leave a review of a game, leave whatever you want to, as long as it's not a profane string of curses. I know we're going to get a profane string of curses as soon as I mention that. But yeah, leave a little message there. We're still doing some giveaways. Round Guard. What else do we have? Ottoman Empire for Xbox. Leave us a review. Leave something, and we'll basically just give you a free game at this point. Like, just do it.
Absolutely. I even added some Steam codes for some really cool games as well.
Yeah.
So we're covering all our bases, and maybe I can dig up a PlayStation code as well. And folks, I will try not to abuse at Co-op Mode Pod. I will not try to be the voice alone. So I will have to give Mark co-executive privileges to that Twitter account, so he can also make sure that I'm not doing anything stupid with it.
You're giving me access to something to make sure nothing stupid's done on it.
Well, at least not by me.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So we can be co-stupidity authors together of this.
The opinion of Co-op Mode Pod Twitter feed only represents the idiocy of us both.
You might as well just add the poop emoji to the end of the description and call it a day.
Yes, exactly. Well, Mark, thanks again for joining us. You were off on a vacation. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Have fun. Take a break. I will be trying to probably go through Ghost of Tsushima, so we'll see how that goes, and hopefully maybe get a little Switch time when you're doing your vacation.
Yeah, I'm still trying to decide whether I want to bring my Switch with me while I'm only going away for the weekend, basically. So it's whether to bring my Switch or just bring my iPad, because there's a few iPad games that I want. So it'll be bringing an Xbox controller and my iPad Pro. And one of those things is I do want to play a little bit more of the Halo Master Chief Collection on xCloud. I still have that beta access. But there's also there's a couple of new Apple Arcade games that I want to get into. So, yeah, we'll see. But I also kind of want to pick up Crysis on Switch and just be like, hey, can it play Crysis? I heard it plays like crap and there's like drop frames and stuff.
Yes.
But anyway, it will run Crysis apparently. So we'll see what I do play, but you'll hear about that on the next episode of Co-op Mode proper. So thanks for tuning in to this special Xbox, I want to say Series X edition, but it was kind of Xbox Game Pass edition, I suppose, by the end of it, wasn't it? Yeah. So
yes, it was.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us.
And just remember, it's always better to game together.
Snadný, na půl roku hry máš daný.
Máme jich tam víc než 100, povím ti, je to strop.
Koupím si Game Pass, pak klidně druhej, ať ostatní gameři čuměj.
Další nabídky nemají cenu, já si Game Pass znova. Kup si Game Pass. Kup si Game Pass. Hraj Xbox. Kup si Game Pass. Si Game Pass, je to pecka, dávno už to nehrajou jenom děcka.
Nekupuju CD jak jiný hráči, na půl roku Game Pass úplně stačí.
Všichni kámoši pěkně čuměj, marně tě doháněj, když dělají co uměj.
Soupeři si neví rady, Xbox má jen samý klady.
Xbox neděluje,
jak Santa Claus.
je to tady, Game Pass in the house.